All right, back. Another episode of the greatest podcast on turf. We're back today. We got something a little bit normal than what we usually do. We got our AFC North Off-Season, Mid-Season Outlook type of deal. Merch. You want to tell them about the merch we got dropping Friday?
Friday, April 1st. Not a joke, not April Fool's. We are dropping our first line of the greatest podcast on turf merch. We teamed up with CM Apparel, our good buddy Chris, who goes to Goldie Beacom. He is a young, aspiring, up-and-coming apparelist. We teamed up with him. We are on his website, CM Apparel. We have a page of the greatest podcast on turf where you are able to buy things of the greatest podcast on turf coming April 1st. No, it's not April Fool's. I have the hoodie on. He has the shirt on. It's like this. Logo's in the back. Looks great. Cheap, too. Cheaper than any other merch that you can get.
Barstool, you're paying $65 for a T-shirt. You're paying $40 for a T-shirt and $70 for a hoodie.
That's the same quality as this. So Be sure to check that out. And with no further to do,
www.cmapparel.com/TGPOT.
And look at other stuff on CM Apparel.
Yeah, CM Apparel, our boy Chris, he has a lot of other apparel, vinyl, decals, whole bunch of stuff. Be sure to show him some love in the process. How was your day today, Ryan?
Good, yours?
Yep. It was alright. It's cold as shit outside.
Yep.
It is freezing out. Yesterday it snowed. I think it's been snowing on and off today too, no?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not excited for my class tomorrow. I get to go to the Blue Rock Stadium for its facility tour.
Aren't you excited about Blue Rocks?
No, because they're the Colorado Rockies, G League team in Delaware.
Yeah.
I don't know what sense that makes.
They're better. They're over you. How about that?
No.
You literally can't bench more than any of them.
Yeah, you want to bet? And I bench more than Andrew. So I don't know what that whole group chat, the argument in the group chat was yesterday, because I didn't understand where you were coming from.
Sounds good.
But I was a key. I did.
Sounds good.
He literally owes me $10 because I outbenched him.
Anyways,
whatever. We'll have this argument off air.
Bengals.
The Bengals.
So the Cincinnati Bengals are still number 10th in salary cap space with $18 million,
which is really good, by the way, for a team.
After everything that they have just done,
yeah.
They brought in Alex Kappa. It's for a 4-year, $35 million deal. They brought in La'el Collins to a 3-year, $21 million deal. They brought in Ted Karras for a 3-year, $18 million deal. That is 3 members of the offensive line, a center, a guard, and a right tackle. They brought them in to play football for them immediately, trying to completely turn around this offensive line, go from one of the worst to inside the top 10, and I see that happening. In terms of draft capital, it's a standard pick 31. They got each pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all in the later rounds of the draft.
Yeah, the Bengals, I would say the Bengals are in a very, very good situation as to the fact that they're coming off of a Super Bowl deep playoff run. They have their franchise quarterback under a rookie deal. They have their 2 best receivers, 2 top 15 arguably receivers in football under rookie deals. You just revamped your O-line. You got Joe Mixon, who's the focal point of the run game. And your defense really didn't play that bad down the stretch. Nope. Sure, they could maybe use another corner or maybe a defensive tackle, which we touched on the mock draft. We just uploaded on YouTube. Be sure to check that out. We just uploaded our post-free agency mock draft on YouTube. You don't want to miss it. We did a YouTube exclusive for this one, so be sure to check that out. If you're watching this on YouTube, just click the greatest podcast on turf button after you subscribe and like this podcast, and click on the mock draft we just uploaded. But yeah, the Bengals, they're in a good spot. Their division's tough. Obviously, it's a tough division. Baltimore's always going to be up there. Cleveland is, we don't know, but we'll touch on them in a minute. And Pittsburgh is always good for 7-8 wins, no matter who they got.
The Steelers haven't had a losing record since 2003. So
yeah,
I'd say they're pretty good for 9 wins.
Yeah.
Or 8 wins every year.
7, 8, 9 wins. It's good for the Bengals. Like I said, all their money's good. They're good money. Ryan said they're still top 10 salary cap after making a bunch of big signings. And with all the good players they already have, I'd say they're in a good situation. But this offseason kind of hurt them in a way because of how good the rest of the AFC got, as if it already wasn't dominant enough. It's going to be tough for the Bengals to repeat. I can't see them going back and repeating the run that they made last year. But I mean, I guess you can never say never, because who would have thought the Bengals were making a run and getting past Kansas City and making a Super Bowl run and giving the Rams a game in the Super Bowl. So I mean, I guess you really never know. But me personally, I can't see the Bengals repeating the success that they had last year again, back-to-back years, especially with how loaded the AFC is.
Yeah, I mean, for the Bengals, they've done pretty much a perfect offseason so far.
Yeah.
Bringing in 3 members of the offensive line. You can't really say anything else that they should do in terms of free agency. You know, maybe if they wanted to splurge and grab a Gilmore,
why not?
Splurge and grab a Clowney. You know, you have the money. This is the right time to do so.
Yes.
Because you have everybody on a rookie deal. Mm-hmm. That is the one thing that the Bengals have that the rest of the teams in the AFC don't have. Josh Allen's not on his rookie deal. Pat Mahomes not on his rookie deal. Herbert is. Bengals are. I
mean, Lamar's about to get paid. Technically, he's
still on his rookie deal, but the Broncos, Russell Wilson got paid his contract. Having a quarterback with a cap hit of, let me find Joe Burrow. Having a quarterback with a cap hit of $10 million is beautiful. You have to take advantage of that while you can before he's a $30-40 million cap hit. You have to take advantage of that. They have tried to do so, bringing in a ton of free agents, so I give them respect for that. In terms of the draft and what they should be bringing in, corner, defensive line.
Maybe another offensive lineman, just because why not?
That's fair, but I don't think I'd do it in the first 2 picks.
Nah.
I think you got to get another corner because I'm not sure Eli Apple's the man.
No.
Necessarily. He can be decent for you until he's not. Yeah. And by the time, hopefully, that corner can step up. So probably a corner, defensive tackle, and our mock, we gave him a defensive tackle. I'm not going to spoil the name here, but be sure to check out the mock if you want to see so.
On YouTube, just click the button. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Defensive tackle and corner, I think, are the 2 biggest needs that the Cincinnati Bengals have. And if they wanted to grab an offensive lineman in the 3rd, 4th round, that can be plugged in on the left side if needed as a depth piece, or maybe somebody that hits because, I mean, every year linemen hit in the 3rd or 4th round. It's not common, but somebody's going to hit. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't hate him for that.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree the Bengals need an outside corner because you got Chidobe Awuzie who will play the boundary. Mike Hilton's a slot guy. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, Eli Apple is not your other CB2 option. Like you said, they have DJ Reader, who ain't bad. BJ Hill ain't bad. Sam Hubbard, he had a good playoffs, but Sam Hubbard ain't making noise. Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt were amazing at linebacker in the playoffs. Akeem Davis Gaither didn't play bad either. So, I mean, yeah, they're in a real good spot. They do have Jackson Carman starting at left guard, who they drafted in the 2nd round last year. So, I mean, they got that going for them. And, yeah, the Bengals are in a very good spot. I was thinking about it last night, actually. The Bengals did everything that the Chiefs did last year in the offseason. They revamped the whole offensive line, and
the Rams did before they went to the Super Bowl.
And they're just trying to run it back now. Yeah, they revamped their offensive line. They bought in a couple other pieces. They have a bunch of young guys on good contracts, so they're ready to run, and they're going to try their hardest to run it back. And like you said, it's huge to have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL with a cap hit of $10 million, with a playoff Super Bowl run experience with 3 years left on his deal. That's massive. And that'll be huge for the Bengals' success, especially down the line. Because you got to think about it. They'll have to pay T. Higgins and Burrow, and then Jamar the year after.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, definitely, we said it last week, I'll give the Bengals offseason grade an A. They had a great offseason. I don't remember what I said last week on our grades, but I'll give them an A.
Yeah, I'm giving them an A+. They're protecting Joe Burrow, which is something that a lot of teams should look into doing. Next team up, the Baltimore Ravens. They have $8 million in cap space. They're sitting at 24 overall. In terms of draft capital that they have this year, a first, a second, 2/3. Holy shit, they have
5/4.
5/4 and a 6. 5/4. You're going to get some decent players out of that.
Yeah, I mean,
in just probability terms, somebody in that 4th round is going to work. In terms of what they've done so far in free agency, they brought in Marcus Williams to a 5-year, $70 million deal. I heard they wanted the Honey Badger. Marcus Williams isn't that far of a drop-off in terms of he's 25 years old.
Yeah.
They got Morgan Moses to help out with Lamar Jackson, it's not a bad signing. 3 years, $15 million, $5 million a year. That ain't horrible. In terms of anything else, they didn't do much. They lost guys like Anthony Averett. Nothing really crazy. They still have a couple free agents that I kind of see them bringing back. Maybe a Calais Campbell that they can bring back. Brandon Williams they can bring back. And these guys would be like 1 year cheap deals.
They also bought
they're getting
back
up there in age.
the big D tackle, Michael Pierce, right?
Yes, they
from
did
Minnesota.
bring back
That was a
Pierce.
big one as well because they didn't pay him 2 years ago. Then they got him back from Minnesota. So, I mean, that's another big one that helps out the John Harbaugh defense.
So maybe Brandon Williams probably isn't coming back. In terms of what they still have to get to be better, I would argue a defensive end because I'm not sure who Broderick Washington is, but I don't think he's that good.
That was probably Calais Campbell's backup. Derek Wolf's about 100 years old.
Yeah.
Tyus Bowser, Patrick Queen's good. Jason Owe had a great rookie year. Their secondary, they still got Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphreys, Marcus Williams. And I'm just looking at their depth chart. The offensive line could maybe use some work. Patrick McCarry.
And the interior.
Yeah.
They got Juwan James, too.
Yeah. Who's their left guard? Tyree Phillips. Could probably use it. I mean, they have Rashad Bateman and Marquise Brown. Maybe even receiver.
The Baltimore Ravens, we all know what they're going to do. They're going to attack defense. That's what they always do, especially in the first round. In terms of what I think they should do, be sure to check out the mock draft to see what they did do. But in terms of what I think they should do, probably an edge rusher and maybe another piece in the secondary, as in a corner.
Yeah.
Somebody playing the slot.
I don't remember who I took. Who did I give them in the mock draft?
Defensive lineman.
Did I?
Yep.
Yeah. The guy, what the hell's his name?
I'd rather not say.
Oh yeah, I see who it is now. I was talking to myself, but yeah, the Ravens, like you said, they don't really address offense in the first round unless they traded up for Lamar Jackson, which is what they did. I mean, they're not known as offensive drafters. Maybe they'll grab like a Zion Johnson to plug and play in that left guard over Tyree Phillips to help out the interior offensive line. They bought in Kevin Zeitler last year. Seemed to work out for them. But it didn't help that their running backs were Devontae Freeman, Le'Veon Bell all year.
J.K. Dobbins does come back this year.
So does Gus Edwards. That's a huge help for the run game for them.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, the Ravens, like the Steelers, the Ravens always feel like they're going to be good for at least 8-9 wins. They're a tough team to play. They're always good to get blown out a couple times a year, and they're always good for a couple blowouts a year. Lamar Jackson, you know what you're getting from Lamar. You know what you're getting from a John Harbaugh coach team. Injuries bit them in the ass last year big time. Losing a top 15 corner in Marcus Peters, losing your two starting running backs all in before the season even starts, that really hurts.
Yeah.
And just battling injuries all throughout the rest of the year. I mean, Rashad Bateman didn't play for a while. Hollywood Brown was hurt. I feel like he always sporadically gets hurt in the middle of the year. He's good for a couple missed games. I mean, the biggest thing for the Ravens is just staying healthy. Do I think that the Ravens will have a shot to compete for a Super Bowl / deep playoff run in the AFC? No. Because I think there's a lot of teams that are better than them. And if they didn't do it when the AFC was down, like when it wasn't as good as it is now, I don't expect them to do it now with much worse teams than they've had in the past.
Personally, I think the Ravens can go to the playoffs in terms of deep playoff run. I mean, I don't really know because there's only 3-4 teams that make a deep playoff run every year, so it's not really saying much. But I do think that they can make the playoffs as well as the Dolphins and other teams, because I don't think the AFC West is going to fulfill expectations that they are setting. They're just going to beat up on each other, so I think there will be spots open. I think the Ravens could definitely take one of them. They could even take the division if the Bengals do step back. The Ravens are tough every year. They always have a tough defense. That's what they are. That's what they're known for. Tough defense with strong running game. They're the Niners. The Niners made the playoffs. I could see the Ravens making it too.
That's fair. But no, I mean, in terms of the Ravens off-season, I'd probably give them like a C, just because they didn't really do anything like crazy, but they also bought in a few key guys to help out the team in places that they need. So I'd give them like a C, maybe C+.
I think I'm a B plus, A minus. When you have a defense that has Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Patrick Queen, and then you add Marcus Williams, and you add a Michael Pierce, and you have about 5 fourth-round draft picks, you can build up a very solid defense quick. You can build up a very decent team quick with that capital, and I think that they will. Harbaugh's not the greatest coach, but he knows defense. That's about the only damn thing he knows in the world. So I'm sure with all of his fourth-round picks, he will beef up that defense pretty well and make it work out. But I think B plus, A minus.
Sure. And we interrupt this program real quick to tell you about our amazing sponsor, Little Italy Pizzeria. You see the patch on our arms. They're my family's business. They're our sponsor. Nice, great family business. Great food, great people, amazing prices. Don't even get me started. Our prices are amazing. Not to toot our own horn. We just got voted top 10 cheesesteak in the state of Delaware for the second year in a row. Last year we were 4, and this year they didn't rank them by numbers. But yeah, great food, great people, great prices. If you go into either Little Italy location in Middletown or Townsend, Delaware, and let them know the Greatest Podcast on Turf sent you, and show proof that you're subscribed to the Greatest Podcast on Turf on YouTube, you will get a discount off of your already cheap prices. So don't forget to check out our amazing sponsor, my family's business, Little Italy Pizzeria, for great food, great customer service, and amazing prices on great food. And back to our regularly scheduled program.
Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Schittsburg Steelers.
They're sitting at $15 million so far in terms of free agency. They brought in James Daniels and Mason Cole to attend the offensive line, a center and a guard, 24 and 25 years old, 2 younger pieces on the offensive line. Didn't break the bank necessarily to get them. They brought in Mitchell Trubisky to be their quarterback. They brought in Levi Wallace to help out at corner because we all knew they needed it. Yeah. They brought in Gunner to be their special teams guy.
Olszewski, Patriots, the return Pro Bowl, All-Pro legend.
They lost receivers such as Juju and James Washington to the Kansas City Chiefs and Dallas Cowboys. They also lost Ray McLeod. But the best signing of all, they brought in Miles Jack to a 2-year, $16 million deal. I think that was a great signing for him after Devin Bush fell off the face of the earth.
Yes.
Coming off of that injury. Hopefully he bounces back. Maybe he just needed a year to get right. I don't know. In terms of draft capital, they have a first, a second, a third, fourth, 6, 7, 7. So the average draft capital that everybody has pretty much.
Yeah.
In terms of paying people, they're paying TJ Watt, they're paying Cam Hayward, they're paying Stephon Tuitt. They're paying the defense, and they're not paying the quarterback.
Nope.
Because it's Mitchell Trubisky.
Yep. I mean, maybe we're going to start to see the Steelers take a similar approach to kind of what we said the Dolphins are doing and what the Niners have kind of done. Pay a defense, build a good team, and kind of just plug in whoever a quarterback. Because they're not really a team that can afford to waste a year with a rookie quarterback. And especially like the way their money's tied up and with the age of their players, they don't really have a year to kind of take off and be mediocre and just deal with what comes with having a rookie quarterback. I mean, because we all know, that especially this year, there isn't a Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert, a Trevor Lawrence, like we've seen the past few years, which we've been blessed since 2018. We've been, maybe even 2017 with Mahomes and Watson and all that. We've been blessed with pretty loaded QB classes. I mean, the only bad year is really 19 with Kyler, the headliner. But, I mean, other than that, you had Haskins, and was Danny Dimes that year too?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, we've been blessed with some pretty good QB classes, and we really don't see that. So it's going to be tough for the Steelers to find their rookie franchise guy unless they trade up in the draft, which, I mean, I could see them doing, but I don't think the Steelers have a year to lose with the rookie quarterback when you have a top defense every single year. You have Claypool and Deontay, who are great receivers. You have Najee, who's your running back of the future, and you just bought in a bunch of pieces to help out the offensive line, which struggled greatly last year. So, I mean, it would be a good situation to go to as a rookie quarterback, good coach, and a great team around you. I just don't know I don't think at all that Pittsburgh has a year to wait around with a rookie quarterback to wait for them to develop and to get acclimated to the NFL, which is why they bought in Mitchell Trubisky, because they weren't getting, I mean, they were out of the Rodgers sweepstakes early. They I don't know the deal about what they were with Russell Wilson. Their name wasn't thrown around much. But, I mean, it's just, they're in a good situation, I think.
Yeah, for me, the Steelers, I think that their path to success in a way. I think Trubisky was a good signing. He hasn't done anything to prove that he sucks. He made it to the playoffs with the Bears. He can definitely do it with the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of free agency, what else they should do, I think that there is a need at safety. Miles Killebrew, are we sure he is the answer? I'm not too sure he is the answer. And I think the Honey Badger would like a word because I think that he would be a pretty nice player to go in the Steelers
Tyrann
defense.
Mathieu, TJ Watt, and Minka in the same defense with a Miles Jack.
Correct.
And a Cam Hayward. That's nasty.
Another thing that they need to address is corner. I'm not sure that they have the right answers here either. With a Levi Wallace, Justin Lane, Cam Sutton, Akello Witherspoon,
Listen,
James Pierre. I'm not sure those guys are the answer at corner. Jesus. So that's something that they need to address. Mm-hmm. In terms of defensive line, I think you're probably safe. You need to stop.
Yes, stop.
Just stop. That's fine.
You're good.
In terms of front seven, actually, you can probably stop. Devin Bush, Miles Jack, and Alex Highsmith are fine. You can probably stop.
Yes.
Secondary, something that you need to address. Absolutely. You have Minka. Fix the corners. You can do that in the draft. You can also do that with the money that you have. You're not broke. You have $15 million. I doubt the Honey Badger needs $15 million. I could be wrong. But Bobby Wagner's looking for like a 1-year, $11 million deal. I feel like the Honey Badger would be kind of similar in theory.
Yeah.
So if you can get a Honey Badger to pair with Minka, the draft you go corner, you have a top defense in football. Just like that, you go from top 10, top 5 even to top 3. If you
go grab a Gilmore for a year or two, I mean, I hate to keep throwing his name out there, but Gilmore was Defensive Player of the Year, top 2 corner 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, the Honey Badger or Gilmore would help this team out significantly. Another thing that they should address in the draft, offensive line. Yeah. It's really those two options for me. You can argue receiver, but I wouldn't even worry about it. I think that this team's a running team for the near future. You have Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool. Anthony Miller's okay. He's serviceable.
Pat Freiermuth
is a decent receiving option. You have decent receivers. Build up the offensive line so you can run the ball. Build up the secondary so you can have a top defense.
Yes.
And this team can be right back. This is another team that could 100% make the playoffs.
I agree.
Over a team that's possibly in the AFC West, over a Ravens. This team is always in it. Mike Tomlin doesn't like losing seasons. He hasn't had one since 2003. I don't think that changes this year necessarily. No. So look for the Steelers to possibly make the playoffs. Like I said, build up the O-line, build up the secondary, and then that's your fast track to success.
Yeah, and I mean, the Steelers are already going to be successful. I mean, even they got by last year with Joe Hayden, who missed a lot of time. They got by with our Oklahoma Sooners playing corner for him. So
Trey Norwood was playing corner.
Sure, they'll be fine. I mean, Levi Wallace was a good signing, but you need
when
more.
When the quarterback has 2 seconds to throw the ball, your corners are going to be in decent shape.
Yes, because you have T.J. Watt and Highsmith. But no, the Steelers, they're in a good situation. Like I said, they got Mitch Trubisky. I've never hated Mitch Trubisky. I mean, sure, there was always, he plays with the Bears, they suck. He took Matt Nagy and the Bears to the playoffs twice in 4 years. They almost made the NFC Championship if Cody Parkey didn't miss the worst field goal in history.
Yes.
People forget that. So, you got that one. And yeah, the Steelers, they ain't in a bad situation, and I think Trubisky was a great signing for them.
I'll give him an A-.
I'll give them an A- as well. Moving on.
The Browntown. In terms of money that they have, $22 million.
That's a lot.
It ain't too bad. Right down the middle. I'm going to see something. I'm going to go to like 2025 and see how much of a cap hit Mr. Watson is. $54 million.
Jesus Christ.
In 2025, Mr. Watson is a $54 million cap hit. I'm sure in 2026 it might even be worse. $54 million again. Okay, so he's going to be about $54 million every year. I'm starting to get that from him. Baker Mayfield is still on the cap hit of $18.8 million. I think getting rid of him is one of the fast tracks to success for the Browns.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be there. You don't want him there. You have to get rid of him to clear the money. You might have to attach a pick, I heard. I don't know. Maybe.
Not sure why, but...
Well, because, I mean, the Browns lost all leverage. So
Yeah.
this is why they have to do this. They
We're
lost
also
all
Baker
leverage.
Mayfield guys. If you guys can't tell that are watching this, our beautiful Baker Mayfield shrine that we have front and center.
Yes. In terms of free agents that they brought in, Jakeem Grant, Jacoby Brisket, and that's about it.
Traded for Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson.
Jarvis Landry is a potential person who might come back to Cleveland. In terms of draft capital, two thirds, a fourth, a sixth, and 2 sevenths. Nothing
Some
crazy.
good value picks.
Yeah, not bad.
The
They lost their
second,
first
two-thirds ain't bad.
for the Watson deal.
Mm-hmm.
So the Browns, what do they got to do?
But I'll tell you what they don't need secondary.
They probably don't need offense.
Linebacker. I guarantee you'll be able to grab a Christian Harris in the second round. Christian Harris. I mean, maybe even the Kobe Dean if he falls like I've been seeing.
Yeah, they could use one linebacker because they got JOK at one.
JOK, yeah.
Chase Winovich, they have it.
Chase Winovich at edge.
The other side of Myles Garrett. They could use an interior defensive lineman because Jordan Elliott and Malik McDowell
Yeah.
probably aren't the
Maybe a
guys.
DeMarvin Leal in the second round. That'd be a nice fit.
Yeah, definitely not secondary.
No, they don't. I mean, they have 3 stud safeties, Del Pitt Harrison and the third guy, John Johnson.
John Johnson.
And then
Harrison
corner-
isn't there.
Who?
Harrison?
Ronnie Harrison? He ain't
He's
there.
not there. He's not on the depth chart.
Really?
Maybe
know what
he's
I'm
a
talking
free
about,
agent.
though, right?
Yeah, he's the guy from Bama, right?
Yeah.
Slowden. Currently a free agent.
Oh, well, I guess I can see why they didn't bring him back.
Ronnie Harrison to the Cowboys. Kidding. We got Hooker and
Yeah, I mean, they
We could probably use
have
him,
Del Pitt,
honestly.
John Johnson, and Richard LeCow, who they drafted last year from Georgia, I'm pretty sure.
correct. Corners, they have
Newsom, Denzel Ward, Greedy,
Troy Hill,
Troy Hill, they're fine. They have
AJ Green.
they have 4 serviceable corners. That's AJ Green, the corner.
Yeah, he's better.
But the Browns' key to success, I would say after last night, bringing Will Smith, he seems to fit the narrative they got going on there.
Sure. That's very nice.
Will Smith, Kareem Hunt, D. Watt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trade for Tyreek Hill.
yeah.
Really just make a team out of
Zeke,
it. Zeke.
bring in Zeke. Who else? Ray Rice, bring him out of retirement. Have the fucking four-headed monster at running back.
I think OJ had running back coach.
OJ, running back coach. You got
Browns. Oh, man. I don't even like the Browns anymore. I used to like the Browns.
Now I don't support them at all because they did our boy Baker dirty.
And they brought in a guy who's not going to play, and they gave him the most guaranteed money.
And that's why they're the Cleveland Browns. Poverty.
In terms of off-season grade, C.
C+. It's a C+ for me. They did Baker dirty.
Yeah. I mean, they brought in Watson, which is good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really like...
It's tough.
I just can't get excited.
I know. We're Baker guys, so it's like, fuck you did our boy dirty, so.
Yeah. They brought in Jakeem Grant, Amari Cooper.
Jakeem Grant didn't have a bad year in Chicago. Couple kick returns. I'm pretty sure he was Pro Bowl, maybe. He had a couple deep, explosive touchdowns.
He's really fast.
Yeah, that guy's pretty fucking quick.
I think Will Fuller would have been the better option, but, whatever.
Whatever.
Where's Will Fuller going? Dallas? No way.
You guys just bought in the guy from Pittsburgh. You're
God, I
fine.
would much rather have Will Fuller.
I bet.
Everybody in the world would rather have Will Fuller.
I agree.
Packers, Jets, Saints, and the Falcons. Sounds like Dallas.
I didn't hear Dallas. I heard Packers, Jets, Saints, and Falcons.
They also have Anthony Schwartz, who is a burner, I believe.
Yes, Anthony Schwartz. Out of Auburn, they drafted last year. That guy's quick. I mean, they bought back Njoku, so I mean, they're fast on offense.
They are fast on.
They're very fast. They have 2 top running backs. It's just a matter of if Watson plays, trying to build the offense around Watson, trying to scheme it up to where you can utilize your 2 top 10 running backs in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Then you have Amari Cooper and David Njoku to pass the ball to.
I see 6 and 11 for this team this year.
I could say I see 6 and 11, 7 and 10.
Because it's most likely not going to be Watson. It's going to be Jacoby Brissett. And
Yeah.
that's 6.
Unless they
7
keep
wins.
Baker.
I hope not. I hope Baker goes
Baker
to like
wouldn't-
Seattle
Baker
or
wouldn't
something.
play. Yeah, Baker probably wouldn't even play. But yeah, you got anything else you want to touch on?
Rank the teams 1 to 4. We always do it.
See, on paper, Cleveland's won and it's not close. But just with the whole thing going on with Watson and all that, I have to say, probably Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore.
No. I'll shake things up. I'll shake up the top. We'll go Pittsburgh.
I wanted to put Pittsburgh 1 really bad. Because I wanted to put them at 1 really, really, really bad.
Let's shake up the top a lot. Let's go Pittsburgh, Ravens, Cincy, Browns. Just to start.
See, I can see the argument for putting Pittsburgh at 1.
Just to start.
I can see. I really wanted to do it, and then I remembered that the Bengals were the final team in that division, and I couldn't do it. The Bengals, they had a really good offseason. But I mean, I would say Bengals and Pittsburgh are right up there, and then I would say Cleveland is just such a big question mark right now because the whole shit with Watson. I couldn't sit here and I could sit here and tell you that Cleveland's going to go to the Super Bowl, or I could sit here and tell you that Cleveland's going to blow. And I mean, they both could be accurate statements, but I mean, we really don't know right now. It's kind of too early to tell. But I could see your argument, and I'm not going to shit on you for putting Pittsburgh at 1. I mean, I could see that a lot.
Pittsburgh, Ravens, Cincy, Browns.
Cincy, Pittsburgh,
That's
Cleveland, Ravens. That's it.
Mock draft.
Mock draft. We just uploaded it. You don't want to miss it. This is one of our more different mock drafts. A lot of new guys have risen up our draft boards.
4 edge rushers in the top 10. 1, 2,
2 quarterbacks.
3
in the top
offensive tackles. 2 quarterbacks.
10. Yeah. Let me look at the calendar. How many more mock drafts do we probably have?
Probably 1.
The draft is 1 month, in exactly a month.
Probably 1 month. Or probably 1.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe 2 more, but we'll have definitely our final mock draft. The draft is exactly 1 month from today. So don't forget to check out our mock draft, and we won't see you guys until next week.
See ya.
Merch drop Friday. Peace.